All right, so we all create tons of data, right? Every single day. But what if you could actually own it? I don't just mean keeping it private, I mean turning it into a real working asset, something that actually generates value for you. Well, today we're going to break down the architecture of ownership and see exactly how that's becoming a reality.
And this quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? For decades, our data has been the fuel for this massive tech explosion. But here's the thing. We, the people actually creating all that data, have been completely left out of the loop. Codata's whole mission is about flipping that script, so let's dive in and see exactly how they plan to do it.
Okay, so the first big idea we need to wrap our heads around is this. We've got to stop thinking about our data as just some static file we upload and then forget about. Instead, you need to imagine it as, well, as a living, breathing thing.
And you really want to pay attention to that phrase right there, yield-bearing asset. We're not talking about some one-time payout. No. This means your data contribution gets turned into an actual asset, something that can work for you 24/7, generating value over its entire life. This completely changes the game, the very mechanics of how data works.
So, how does a simple piece of information become this living asset? Well, Codata has mapped it all out in a super clear four-step journey. It's like taking it from birth all the way to maturity. Let's walk through it together.
Everything kicks off with you. Step 1, you contribute some data, and bam, it's immediately tagged to you. Then, step 2 is where it gets assetified. It's minted on the blockchain. Just think of that as creating a permanent, public proof that you own it. From there, step 3 tracks any time someone uses that asset and bills them for it. And finally, the best part, right? Step 4, that's when the system's royalty engine automatically pays you. The whole thing is a super transparent pipeline, from start to finish.
And here's the really crucial takeaway. This whole four-step cycle, it's not a one-and-done deal, not at all. Because your data has a life of its own and continues to be used, you become a long-term stakeholder in its success. Your ownership doesn't just disappear, it sticks around, and so does the value you get from it.
Okay, that all sounds fantastic, right? But how is this ownership actually enforced? Like, how can you be 100% sure that it's your data earning those royalties? Well, that brings us to the core tech, the real secret sauce that makes all of this completely undeniable. So say hello to the contribution fingerprint, or CF for short. This is the absolute key. The best way to think about it is like a unique digital DNA for every single piece of data you contribute. Codata even calls it the Atomic Truth Unit. It's basically an unbreakable coded link that proves your ownership for good.
And this right here really shows you the fundamental shift we're talking about. See, in the old way of doing things, getting paid was based on a platform's policy, which, they could change whenever they felt like it. But in this new way, getting paid is an inevitable result of the code itself. It's not a choice anymore, it's a guarantee that's literally baked into the system.
And look, this isn't just some pinky promise. It's a structural reality built on three main technical pillars. First up, you've got privacy-preserving identity staking, which basically means you can prove you're you without giving up all your personal info. Then you have secure storage and secure compute, which makes sure your data is safe whether it's just sitting there or actively being used. It's that combination that makes ownership a real structural part of the whole system.
All right, so we've covered the theory, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's check out a live example where these data assets are being created and put to work as we speak.
So, here we have a real-world mission, Data Bounty number 2. The goal here is pretty cool. Get the community to help map out the entire wallet infrastructure of the big centralized crypto exchanges, places like Coinbase or Binance. It's like a massive jigsaw puzzle, and every single piece of data someone contributes helps to complete that final picture.
And to make things interesting, there's a serious prize pool on the line, 100,000 XNY tokens. This just goes to show you, this isn't some side hobby. The intelligence being created here is super valuable, and people who make quality contributions get directly and substantially rewarded for it.
Let's quickly break down the details. So, the mission is to map all those deposit and withdrawal records. Why? Well, the goal is to build way better analytics for the whole Web3 ecosystem, the next generation of the internet, and even to help fight illegal activity. And of course, the folks who provide that valuable data, they get a piece of that big prize pool.
So when you boil it all down, what this mission really does is take all that raw, chaotic noise from the blockchain and turn it into something incredibly valuable, actionable financial intelligence. It's a perfect example of how a community's contributions can create real clarity.
You know, that whole idea of turning chaos into clarity, that's actually the perfect way to understand the grand vision here. Let's zoom out for a second and take a look at the bigger philosophy that's driving this entire architecture.
Codata asked this question in one of their pieces, and man, it really sticks with you. In an era of just constant information overload, how much context is actually enough to make a decision? We're all drowning in data. How do we find the signal in all that noise?
To help answer that, they came up with this really powerful visual. Just try to picture this. You've got this massive, chaotic data storm swirling all around you. But right in the center, there's this calm, glowing core, where all these streams of verified, useful information are coming together.
And that image, that's the whole point. Codata's mission is to be that glowing core, to take that chaotic, overwhelming storm of global data and, using human contributions, distill it all down into a structured, valuable core of actual human knowledge.
So what does all this mean for you as a contributor? Well, it's pretty simple. The more you contribute and the more trusted your data becomes, the more your earned reputation translates into real, tangible participation in this new economy. It's like a flywheel of trust and value that just keeps spinning.
So let's just end on this thought. For years, decades even, we've all heard the phrase, data is the new oil, right? But just creating data isn't enough anymore. Looking ahead to, say, 2026, the single most opportunistic move you can make is actually owning your data. And systems like the one we just walked through are what make that possible. This shift from just contributing to truly owning, it's not some far-off future. It's happening right now.